What's poppin', y'all? It's your personal trainer Grace here, and I'm gonna be going over everything you need to know to grow your glutes as a beginner. Make sure to watch to the end of the video because I'm gonna be going through a beginner's glute workout for you to do at home or the gym. If you're somebody who's never worked out consistently, wants to grow their glutes, I got you. Keep on watching. Number one thing you need to do is train your glutes 3 times a week. You can choose whatever 3 days as long as there's one day in between. So you can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. As long as there's one day in between, you're good because your muscles need about 48 hours to recover until you can train them again. So make sure it's 3 times a week, one day in between. So if you want to grow your glutes, you got to do glute focusing exercises. So anything along the lines of hip thrust, any kind of hip thrust variations, single leg hip thrust, glute bridges, any kind of thrust movement needs to be done 3 times a week, okay? You can also do lunges. Reverse lunges are really good for the glutes. Step ups are really good for the glutes. Bulgarian split squats, okay? And then you also want to include exercises like Romanian deadlift, so where you're kind of hinging your hips back. Any kind of hip hinging movement, it can be Romanian deadlifts, sumo deadlifts, single leg Romanian deadlifts, hyperextension glute focused. And then you also want to include an abduction exercise. So any exercise where your leg is coming up to the side. So like side lying hip abductions, those cable kickbacks, but like kind of to the side. Side lying hip raise. Okay, so you definitely want to be training your glutes 3 times a week, doing glute focused exercises, okay? You also need to hit your protein every single day. Every single day. Without protein, your muscles cannot grow no matter how much you're training them, okay? So you're gonna hit your protein. You're gonna do 2 protein shakes a day. Any protein, whichever one that you enjoy, do it, and you're gonna do 2 shakes a day, okay? Try to avoid doing it with milk, like regular milk, unless you're trying to gain weight, then that's fine. I still recommend almond milk or water just because it's a very thin consistency. Like oat milk, soy milk, those are all very thick. And I mean, if that's what you want, do that. Also for protein, you need about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I'm 115 pounds, I need 115 grams of protein. As a beginner, you're probably not eating anywhere close to how much protein your body needs, so adding these 2 shakes is really gonna help. What I like to do to keep myself consistent, hitting my protein every single day, is having 2 shakes and 2 meals at least. And those 2 meals have to have at least 30 grams of protein, which is about the same serving as a protein shake. Protein shakes usually range from like 20 to 30, 40 grams. We're training glutes 3 times a week. We're doing glute focused exercises. We're hitting a protein every single day. Another thing is progressive overload. All right, so progressive overload pretty much means you're doing more over time. For example, say you're doing, not squats, say you're doing hip thrust and you do 15 hip thrusts. And that was pretty hard for you. The next time you do it again. Maybe add another set. Next time you do it, do those 2 sets again, but maybe now add a resistance band and do 2 sets of those. And then maybe that starts to feel easy. Then maybe add some weight. So that's progressive overload, pretty much where you're doing more than last time, whether it's more weight, more reps, better form, better control, better range of motion, less rest in between, like anything that you're doing more than you did last time or you're doing better than you did last time, that's progressive overload. So you need to constantly do that throughout the days of your training, okay? Because your body is going to adapt to the stress that you place on it. So it's gonna get used to just doing 15 reps of hip thrust. So you gotta challenge yourself the next time you do it to make it harder and harder and harder and harder so that your muscles can grow. And last but not least is to be consistent. Be consistent with everything that I just mentioned. Be consistent hitting the gym 3 times a week or working out at home 3 times a week. Be consistent with hitting your protein every day. Be consistent with pushing yourself. You need to be consistent. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to be consistent. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that. As a beginner, we do not need to get any more complicated than that, okay? So follow those things and watch your glutes grow. If you're watching this, thank you so much for staying till the end. Now it's time to go over day 1 of your glute workout. First exercise is hip thrust. All right, so you're gonna sit at this box or bench. I just have this pad here because this box obviously is very sharp. You wanna scoot your butt as close as you can to it, and you want the bottom of your shoulder blade to hook on top of whatever it is that you're using. This is exactly where you want it to go, okay? So if, say, whatever you're using is like too high, just like scoot yourself up until you're at the perfect position, okay? The perfect situation, you would want to be sitting on the floor and be right where your shoulder blade is. But I know if you're at home, maybe the couch is too high, or if you're at the gym, the bench is too high, you just gotta work with what you got, okay? So just make sure it's in that shoulder blade, and then you're gonna bring your feet shoulder width apart, okay? You can point your toes out a little bit, okay? And then when you come up to the top, you want your knee to be directly over your ankle. So you don't want to be too far forward because then it'll be too much of the hamstrings back here. And if you're too far back, it's going to be too much quads, okay? So you want to be, you want to be knees over ankles, okay? And then you're going to keep your chin tucked, keep your chest forward. Try not to move your chest at all and think of just moving from here down, okay? So you can keep your hands here, chin tucked, chest forward, come up. You're gonna push through the heels of your feet. I'm too far back. Push through the heels of your feet and squeeze your butt that whole way up. Okay, so notice how my chest doesn't really move. It stays right here, and then literally from here down, it's my glutes. Squeeze, so you're really tucking. It's like a thrust, okay? Boom. Boom. Okay, so you're gonna do 20 of these, and if this feels too easy, feel free to grab a band. You're gonna put the band on, and you're gonna place it right above your knees, okay? The closer to the knees, the harder it is. The closer to your hips, the easier it is to open. So the whole point of this is to push your knees like that. Push your knees out against that band, and you're gonna feel it immediately in your butt, and you're gonna hold it there. Don't move your knees at all. Keep them pushing out against that band, and you're gonna do the same thing. Okay? And then you're gonna do 20. And if that's too easy, go ahead and grab a dumbbell, place it right here, same thing. Boom. You should feel that, because I barely did 5 and I felt that. Now you're gonna do a lunge, okay? So when you do the lunge, you wanna start on your weaker leg. Normally, if you're right-handed, your right leg is weaker. If you're left-handed, your left leg is weaker. Very rare, not impossible, but very rare for it to be the opposite of what I just said. So do both legs, see which leg is weaker. Whichever leg is weaker, you're gonna start with that weak leg from there on out, okay? So you're gonna stand here, okay? You want to kind of lean forward a little bit, and then as you come down, you're gonna lean forward, chest into your thigh, okay? So you wanna be right here. You don't wanna be here, you don't wanna be here, okay? So when you're leaning forward, you're stretching the glute. If you're up here, it's gonna be all quads. So you wanna lean forward with your hips back. Don't start shooting forward like that, okay? Not that your knee can't go over your toe, but you need to stretch your glute versus trying to push your knee forward, okay? So you're here, and then you're gonna stand up and you're gonna push through the front heel of your foot, okay? Boom. And when you're at the top, don't walk out your hips, don't walk out your knees. Keep them slightly bent that whole time. Step back, push through the heel, boom, boom, and you should feel that all right here, boom. If you feel like your balance is kind of all over the place, feel free to hold on to something and then go, okay? Your form's not gonna be perfect, okay? It's gonna take repetition, it's gonna take practice. So keep going, keep pushing through, you'll get stronger, trust me. Okay, so this next one, you're gonna need some dumbbells. If you plan on working out at home, I do recommend to invest in some dumbbells. 5 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, that's really all you're gonna need, okay? So, we're gonna do Romanian deadlifts, okay? So it looks like this from the side. Okay, so this is a hip hinging motion. All right, so what you're doing is you're having your feet close together like that. Point your toes out. You're gonna keep your chest up, dumbbells in front of you, bend your knees slightly, and then you're gonna push your hips back until your dumbbells get about to your knee level. And then you're gonna come up and squeeze your butt. Same thing with the lunges. Don't lock out your knees. Don't lock out your hips. Always keep it bent. Push back, squeeze. Back, squeeze. If you're having trouble doing that, grab something like this box, okay? You're gonna keep your heels and your calves right up against it. Dumbbells in front of you. Now, when you push your hips back, do not let your calves leave the box. Don't let your calves come forward, okay? The whole point of this is to get used to using your hips and not your back, okay? So it shouldn't look like this. See how my hips aren't really moving anywhere? And it's mainly my back. So you want to go from that to that, okay? So you're gonna do 20 reps of these. And for these, you should feel it kind of like right here and a little bit right here. Mainly all right here. So this exercise specifically is probably one of the hardest exercises to master, but one of the most important. So be patient with yourself. Your body will get used to the movement. Right now, your body's just like, whoa. Last movement is for the side. You're gonna lay down on the floor like this, bend the bottom leg, top leg straight. What you wanna do, you can put your hand on your hip. What you're gonna do is you're gonna push your hip forward and bring your leg back, okay? And then from there, you're just gonna come up and down, 20 reps on each side. Okay guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something from this. I will also put the workout down below in the description so you guys can screenshot it and do it whenever you like. If you want more workouts like this, check out my gym programs that I have linked in my description box below. I have a gym program and an at-home program. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to please subscribe and like this video, and then you can also check out these 2 videos right here on any other glute growth tips. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.